Hello, folks. I'm actually broadcasting the show from the 30th Congressional District, which, of course, represented by Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett. And, man, was she giving the Republicans all they deserve yesterday in a committee hearing, chastising them for calling themselves pro-life, but looking to starve kids. She hit them in a whole bunch of areas. Roll it.
Farm bankruptcies in 2025 already exceed 2024 levels. That is from Hoosier Ag. And the second one says farm bankruptcies rising in 2025. All right. The reason that I wanted to talk about farming is because it seems like we think that we can talk about things in some sort of vacuum. You can't talk about healthy children if you don't talk about whether or not they have money to access any food, whether it's good or bad. Some would argue that if you don't have money to access food at all, whether it's good or bad, it's probably bad for the child to not have anything in their body. The reason that those on my side of the aisle keep bringing up these cuts is because we know that we already have a hunger problem in this country. Considering the fact that we have a hunger problem in this country, it's now only been compounded by the poor policies of this administration and House Republicans as well as Senate Republicans. You see, I don't believe that you can just have a mantra where you say, make America healthy again, without actually doing the work, because as the good book says, faith without works is dead. So let's talk about the work that really needs to be done. Number one, it's in policy. Policy that doesn't look like ridiculous tariffs that unfortunately now have our farmers going under. In fact, to be very specific, farm bankruptcies are up 55% compared to 2023. Which minimizes the amount of food that we do have that will be available. And ultimately, that food will be more expensive because that's simple economics. Yet at the same time, the $6 a day that people get to eat, that's going away. And besides the SNAP benefits themselves, we're talking about those kids that only get their food at school. And we are able to set the guidelines for whether or not that's healthy food or not. The reality is that I am so disturbed because under this Department of Health and Human Services, literally, they have become the threat to the American people. Serving from the state of Texas, unfortunately, we had to endure the very beginning of the measles outbreak. For the first time in 20 years, children are dying. That doesn't look like making us healthier again. In fact, a lot of people want to talk about measles, but the plague is back now. We had our first contact of that recently came out. And we know how the secretary feels about polio. Polio may end up coming back. Right now, President Trump, Secretary Kennedy, and congressional Republicans are perpetuating the most significant public health attack on Americans ever. In just a few months, they have diminished HHS's ability to respond to outbreaks and emerging health threats. They've dismantled teams that ensure Americans are consuming safe foods. They've weaponized the federal government against universities performing world-class research. They've implemented the most significant cut to healthcare in American history. These people hate it when American families have access to healthcare. They hate it when American families have access to healthy foods. They hate it when American families have access to affordable housing. They hate it when American families have access to affordable childcare because these people simply hate America. Nearly everything they have done makes Americans less safe and less healthy. The consequences of their actions are simple. More children will die and have. More children will go hungry. More children will live in extreme poverty. More children living with disabilities will lose access to school-based therapies and services. So, Dr. Fink, you're here to rubber stamp this agenda, an agenda that's so unpopular the Republicans are deciding to cheat in next year's elections. But nevertheless, let's talk about it. Dr. Fink, in 2021, you provided a presentation at the University of North Texas Health Speakers Bureau titled Women's Health. Do you remember that, yes or no?
Yes, I do.
Well, during this presentation, you spoke at length about the importance of vaccines. In fact, one of your slides stated, quote, clusters of under or non-immunization have the potential to foster transmission of vaccine-preventable diseases, including measles. Is this a slide from your presentation, yes or no?
I haven't reviewed that presentation recently,
So we're going to go, you don't know. You work under someone who has become the face of the anti-vax movement. So who's right, you or the secretary?
Thank you so much for that.
You or the
Congresswoman.
secretary?
I would like to tell you that Secretary
You or the
Kennedy
secretary?
is challenging us to use gold standard.
So you're going to filibuster, and I only have 25 seconds. So I'm going to go with you, assume you, but you know that he's your boss. This administration has lost all credibility with the American people and our global partners. No one believes you care about improving health outcomes when you're slashing NIH research into Alzheimer's disease, women's health, cancer, and diabetes. No one believes you care about public health when you cut programs that support maternal and child health and eliminate Healthy Start. No one believes you care about children when you implement the largest cut to Medicaid in history. Americans know the truth, and the truth is that this administration, with the help of congressional Republicans, has unleashed the most significant assault on public health in American history. The people will die as a result. I yield back the remainder of my time.
It's amazing, Nola, they call themselves pro-life.
Mm-hmm. Pro-life has somewhat of a interesting definition because they don't want you to get rid of the child that you can't afford, but they won't help you to afford that child that you can't afford. It is about something far more sinister in my view. You know, it's definitely to control women's bodies. There's that, right? And then it's always been, you need a part of the population who's going to go to the military, right? And now we're in a situation where we are in a deficit regarding farms, regarding all types of certain type of work that Americans just are no longer used to and just do not want to do. So it is one situation where white folks are concerned with the dwindling population of white births, you know, for a different set of reasons why they are concerned with births from Black folks, brown folks, you know, Asian folks, because the way in which this country is turning is they want people in certain labor industries as they are deporting communities of people who have been doing that work for a long time. So where are you going to get farm hands? Where are you going to get factory workers? Where are you going to get people to join the military? So in my view, this is far more sinister. It always has been. And the things that Representative Crockett pointed out, it's just blatant hypocrisy. And, you know, as a social scientist, with a STEM background, it broke my heart to hear that woman sit there and she was about to try to find all types of reasons to support her boss, who is a conspiracy theorist. It doesn't go beyond that. This country has been overtaken by conspiracy theorists, not by professionals, not by experts, but this is the situation that we are in, and real people are going to suffer. Children are going to die. Older people are going to die. People are going to get sick. That is simply the reality.
Look, Tim, I'm telling you, I keep saying this. I've been saying this since Vice President Kamala Harris lost to Donald Trump. The only way this changes, the only way this is going to change is white people in America are going to have to feel maximum pain. So everything you heard Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett lay out right there speaks right to y'all gonna lose food, y'all gonna lose health care, y'all gonna lose jobs. It's just gonna be loss, loss, loss. You ain't getting money for housing. The tariffs are gonna kick your butt. And listen, black people, we've been trying to tell America and saving America. And if white people in America actually listen to black people, we will be much better off in this country. But they keep getting this hard lesson. And all of those people who voted for Trump and they vouch for Trump and they wear their little MAGA hats and they fly their little flags, all them broke ass people are about to learn a hard lesson. He never gave a damn about them. He don't give a damn about them now, and he's been lying to them the whole time, and they fell for the hook, line, and sinker.
There's a reason why we named our podcast the Find Out Podcast, because in November, and it was mostly white people, we effed around, not me, but white people effed around, and now we're finding out. And there's a perfect example of people needing to see it in their wallet and not being able to have empathy for others. There were these farmers in Arkansas earlier this week or late last week who were begging Donald Trump for help because his tariffs are hurting them. Well, Donald Trump told them what he was going to do. They just didn't think it was going to affect them, and they were fine with other people suffering, people of color suffering, trans people, just not them. And I think you're right, Roland. Like, there are a lot, like the majority of people who look like me in this country do need to, for some reason, need to feel it directly before they will do anything. And the reality is they are about to find out big time, because the tariffs, that bill is starting to come due. Americans are realizing that they are paying the tax. I mean, Republicans say they hate taxes. They just put billions of tax increases on the poorest Americans in the country. And all of these policies where we're cutting government services, we're cutting SNAP benefits for children, as Congresswoman Crockett was talking about. What? We cut $1.1 trillion from Medicaid, which provides healthcare services for poor working class people. Also, mental health services for poor working class people. We talked about the gun violence issue before. Like, this administration seems hell-bent on destroying this country financially. And, I'm hopeful that more people will realize that they are going to be affected in a negative way. Their groceries are continuing to go up. Donald Trump won on saying he was going to lower prices. He's not done a single thing to lower prices in this country. In fact, he's done the opposite. And, I hope that there are more people out there who are going to raise hell about this, because this is devastating people across the country, regardless of their race. I'm just hopeful that the people who look like me are waking up to the fact that this guy is not interested in helping them. He's using you to help his billionaire friends get a little bit extra in their pocket and screw everybody else.
And this is what Democrats have to be pounding. I said this, Greg, to Congressman Ro Khanna was on here. I said it to Bernie Sanders. I'll say it to Elizabeth Warren, to all of them. Y'all need to take the fight to these folks direct and literally look them in the eye and say, he not bailing y'all out. He don't give a damn about y'all. Just letting y'all know. I mean, because here's the deal. And this is where the audience has to understand American history. I love it, Greg, when they say, black people, y'all have been voting Democrat for 60 years, and what have you gotten? Broke, poor, uneducated white folks. Y'all have been voting for Republicans a lot longer, and y'all still broke, you still uneducated, you still poor, you don't have housing, a lot of y'all got bad teeth. So I thought they cared about the working class.
Well, that's not true, Roland. Well, of course, I know you being facetious, and it would be funny if there weren't so much pain and death. Bernie Sanders is in Chicago today. I watched a little bit of the live stream. It's interesting because he's out there fighting this oligarchy tour. Looks like Trump might meet again with Eric Adams to try to get him out the race, but I'm not even going to win that race. But what we really have is chaos theory. You have a lot of different actors with a lot of different interests who have congealed around the delivery system that is the most consistent political ideology in the history of the United States of America, white supremacy. And you have an addled, mentally unstable delivery system at the top of this, a signing pen named Donald John Trump, who will say anything. Now, this is the thing I will give him complete full credit for. He is, because he's a product of it, down to his funky little DNA, he is deeply in tune with the spirit of white supremacy. He was bred in it. His father was part of it. His family is part of it. So he understands how to tap into that visceral hatred and fear that animates his electorate. When you combine that with voter suppression, when you combine that with apathy and people don't come out to vote, you can get close enough to a margin to win elections, federal elections. You combine that with gerrymandering, the political interests that Alec has helped pioneer, and, this red state thing that they put together a few years ago to begin to capture state legislatures. And you have a delivery system where you've captured the federal apparatus and enough of the state apparatus to push your agenda. Now, what is that agenda? There is no one agenda, and that's the problem. You've got religious zealots hiding under the umbrella of policymaking. Like I said, Russell Vogt, Kevin Roberts, these are religious zealots. That's what they are. When you read them, when you hear them. Then you have the oligarchs who want to make all the money possible, who want to crack the United States down to its marrow and extract whatever value they can before moving on. And in a global sense, the Peter Thiels and the Elon Musks and others. And then you've got the agents of chaos. As Michael Caine said in Batman, some men just want to see the world burn. You've got them, but they all congealed under the grand old party, under the delivery system of the Republicans. You've got a madman, as Jasmine Crockett kind of rehearsed there, named Bobby Kennedy, as you say, Nolan, not only a dilettante, he's an idiot, a longtime addict who now has in his mind, he said, I have a wish list. This is everything I've dreamed for. That little 20-page report they put out early this week, that MAHA report, Make America Healthy Again. When you look at it, he's targeting poor diet. Okay, we can agree with that. Additives and fluoride, understand all that. But here's the problem. As you heard Congresswoman Crockett say, you're now you've collided against another interest, the billionaires who have raided our public dollars, and as a result, people don't have the money to get a diet of any kind, poor or otherwise. Then you say that you want to that people are over medicated and you want to deal with chemical exposure. Fine, but guess what? You're deregulating everything, and at the same time, you're loosing all of these viruses and all these diseases back because the people who vote for you don't study, have no sense, think somehow they're going to be immune, and if they pray to that Jesus they have in their mind, they will be healed. Then you got a problem. But finally, when you read that little 20-page report, which is basically a bunch of bullets, the third one is the one that should scare the hell out of us. The number one cause of death among children and teens, guns. The report says nothing about that because you're the wholly owned subsidiary of the National Rifle Association, because your votes count on getting white NASA's ginned up because you put the Second Amendment in their minds and hearts as the battery in their souls to say, at some point, we've got to kill all the blacks, kill all the Indians, and maybe even kill all the women. And that kind of chaos can be destroyed if enough of us get together, organize, and express ourselves in the voting booth. We can roll a great deal of this back in the matter of the next few months. These special elections that are being won all over the country, the midterms coming up next year, this is the time to get off the damn bench and get in the game, because these chaos agents right here don't have a coherent plan, but the result will be the implosion of this polity.
Hello, I'm Isaac Hayes III, founder and CEO of Fanbase, and I'm here with a very important message. We are at a turning point in the Black community where we must have equity in the apps we use that scale to billions of dollars. But this time, we own the infrastructure, we own the culture, and we shape the future. And Fanbase is the future. Fanbase combines the free functionality of Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube into an all-in-one platform built for the evolution of social media and monetization. With over 1.4 million users, that's real proof that we are shifting the conversation of tech ownership and equity for creators. So right now, I want you to go to startengine.com/fanbase and invest today. The minimum to invest is $399. That gets you 60 shares of stock in Fanbase at $665 a share. This marks a turning point in Black ownership of social media. If we don't take this opportunity to own social media right now, we will always be customers to our own creations. And that can't go on. So once again, go to startengine.com/fanbase and invest today. We must own the platforms where our voices live, our stories matter, and where our culture drives the world. Thank you.